Hello people, it's Blitz here. Welcome back to another episode of Rollercoaster Tycoon. Well, it's Adventureland. It's part 5. Okay, so we've done the building, finished it off. That's what it looks like. A little stairway coming down inside. I was going to show you some more parts of me building it, but it crashed here 3 times and half of it was missing. So I thought, sorry, I'll just get to the end where we had a decent bit of video. So now we're just going to put a lake in at the back. The plan is on this lake, as I said, I think in an earlier episode, going to look like a sunken ruin. If everything goes as planned. I've got no idea why that happens. That's beyond me. It's like the game's decided it wants to do a little pretty pattern on the ground. Get some colouring. Can't go wrong with a bit of colour. Yeah, even though I'm making the old lakey part now, I'm hoping that when I come to make the building, I can just make the building and just drop it inside the water. If we don't, I'm going to have to suck out the water like we have to do on everything else. Yeah, so it would have been a ruin. The lake will go further over when I open up the other section. And a roller coaster to like go from one side of the map, come around and do a couple of loops here and there and all sorts, and come back and go back in. Yeah, so on the actual building itself, all I did is duplicate both sides. So it's like a pyramid-y thing going up. And we stick some buildings around it to blend in as such. Well, that's got some water down there in the corner. I think if you notice, I've got no idea why that water got there. It's not that I've added water to it yet. I'm sure if you go deep enough, the water automatically comes through. Right. I can't be for sure. I'm not dug a big enough hole yet. Just get the old rocks in, a bit here and now. Yeah, that freezing you're just seeing, the actual hard drive problem I've got is actually down to a read error. I don't know if it goes, it's causing the freezing. It goes a bit further than that, because it don't just freeze, it completely crashes the game when it wants to read a certain item. Now I'm not going to put rocks all the way around the basin like I usually do. I'm going to do something a little bit different. I mean, the worst of all this blinking hassle with the hard drive. It's like, we have a problem with the car dies, costs me a fortune, get fixed, and my mobile phone dies on me, and then the hard drive dies on me. So I want to get a graphic card. And someone tried to tell me, you're not that. They'll probably release the next versions of graphic cards the time I get one. I can't complain too much. I don't really want to buy one until October. Now I started putting rocks at the bottom of the lakes or ponds. The reason being is that, well, obviously, since the water's nice and clear, I think it's a nice effect going through the water. Yeah, so what we do, we get the old trees in, bit of foliage, shrubs, fill it up with water. We'll build a tower. As I said, the plan was to build a series of towers and have the roller coaster go through them. And I'll show you as far as we get on this game, where it crashes and it completely freezes, and it's never been right since. So this is the last episode until we get a new hard drive. So it might be a week before you see another episode. If the hard drive doesn't turn up until next week, what I would do, I've got some content made of Planet Coaster. If they still work, because I don't know what the hard drive's corrupted, we'll try and post them over the weekend. Yeah, don't want to leave you going out of anything. But the original plan was, I think I said, even though I've not managed to do it yet, I'm too busy doing other stuff. I was trying to do 3 episodes a week, one of each game: Star Trek, Planet Coaster, and Rollercoaster Tycoon. But we are now in autumn, according to the calendar. You know, in my book and most gardeners' book, autumn don't start till October, as far as I'm concerned, when the weather changes. And my job will then start slowing down. That gives me more time to play more games, do more videos. I do have to say, in the UK, anyone wanted to visit this year, we've had some great weather. We've had plenty of sun and rain, which is great for gardening. We had some real scorchers, 30 odd degrees, roasting. I personally can't stand it like that, but that's me. Yeah, it's going to be plenty of work, can't complain. I mean, last year was just cloudy and cloudy, and flowers were coming out all sorts of weird times of the year. So, definitely, if I remember right, we had daffodils 3 months ahead of schedule. Okay, what nutty it was. So back to the game. So yeah, we're just making up some nice bit of foliage areas stand out. Yeah, I did actually try. I don't know if I mentioned it. It's a little bit gutted when they released piece by piece. Now it's actually Thursday today, so I'll actually ask Newt Riot to tell the developers if they can make an option on piece by piece where you can actually have collision control. The reason for that, well, for me personally, I wanted to do. I made a nice lake. I thought, okay, what we do? Where we've got the old glass screens, I want to make a path. Put a path through the lake. Put the glass screens up to hold the water back. Unfortunately, because they don't have collision control, the water goes straight through the glass. It's a bit of a sod really, because I wanted to have it where you can walk down a path and then you've got the water side by side and you can look through it. And I thought that would have been a great feature. Unfortunately, we can't do that yet. If any modders out there who can do it for us, we'll be very, very happy. I'm not a modeler, even though I've been playing around with it, but I've had so much work on, as I said, with the weather. I've not had time to try it out or give it a test run. That's quite good, quite like that. Like I said, I'll probably have to take the water back out to put the temple in it. I don't know if it'll allow me to put an item in there. It doesn't if you want to put a rock in there or a tree as such. But we'll see how it affects the piece by piece. Now I did originally, when I made the coastal building, I did actually have a brick wall going where the path was. And I thought, if I made the entire building a ruin, as such, it would have looked alright. But because I didn't, it sort of didn't match up. Like half the building being okay and the other building that was falling down. I thought, oh, well, I'll have it like that. Now, I don't know if you noticed, I actually done it, well, it's not actually on the video. You see these columns here with the torches on. Now if you want to highlight, make some lights for your raised platforms or raised pathways, in a piece by piece, you can make the columns, stick the torches on top, and it lights up your whole pathway. Yeah, it looks quite good. You see those two buildings there, two little huts, pre-made huts. We get rid of them. We don't want none of those. I'll just put those in for a quick fix of having entertainers and a medic. So yeah, behind those, or in the centre there, we shall add the mountain. Around the mountain, we shall have the path going around it as like a giant overlook, and the buildings going around it as well, around the mountain itself, not at the bottom, going around it. So that could be fun. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to build certain buildings around it, especially if I want a restaurant, about having railings in a restaurant. I'll try and work something out. So right, let's get on with the towers. Like I said, plan was to make probably about 3 or 4 towers, different levels, and have the coaster going through it. Instead of using the centerpieces they made, I thought, well, I'll make towers instead. At the bottom of the towers, we've got shops, and the coaster goes through different levels of the tower. Well, that was the plan before the game decided, no, you're not doing that no more. Just raised the ground so the tower's even higher. And as I said, I don't like flat land. We've got to have a bit of hilltops here and now. I like what I've done so far. I don't know what everyone else thinks about it. So let me know. See what if you like what I've done. Come up with something different. Had a quick look at the Western theme again. The problem with the Western theme, I might just be too picky. That's probably what it is. I think the development team realised that if you're going to make a Western building, the building's got to look like 200 or 300 years old. The problem with the buildings in this game, after they made them, they look like they just come off a prefab website, a prefab building site, I should say, and they just look too flipping new. It just don't go as a Western-y look. I think they need to change the textures, not the actual building elements themselves, the textures on them. That's why I think this one looks quite good. It looks quite dated, got some good textures on it. It stands out a lot. What I haven't done so far, I've not coloured the brickworks. I have done it on a demo when I was playing around. It's quite good. So we might actually colour some of these buildings slightly different shades. We won't do that yet. We should do that if everything goes as planned. We should play around with it in next episode. Yeah, so I thought the idea of these towers, I thought, okay, wherever, besides having a coaster go through them, they'll be like a centrepiece, as such. As the people walk around, there'll be like a few shops, info, laboratory, and so and so. And if they ever give us stairs or lifts, if I made the building big enough, the plan was to be able to go to the top and have like a platform instead of coaster go flying past. But us I'm hoping we will get lifts in the future, and the other plan was obviously having a tower if they give us the transport rides, and they can link up as well. So that was the plan. That was the plan originally. I'm thinking a bit far forward, hoping a video out there are listening. So this is what you got to do next. There's one thing we could do with is a roof part 1 square wide. It would be nice. At the moment you've got to have a minimum of 4. So no, I want one just go one piece on its own. I wanted to go up and up and up to like a point. But I've got no roof piece. I've got one flat bit, but I don't really want a flat bit. Might have to look at the other pieces, other elements, and see if they got anything as such, and then colour the building to match. So ideally this would have been a walkway as such, and would have had the coaster go above it or below it. Not made the hole in the wall yet, so we don't know where the coaster is going to go at this time, and I shall remove the brickwork as we go on. Yeah, up to this point, the game's been going, well, saying it has crashed, God knows how many times. But it got to this, I put the old roller coaster through it, that was it. I've actually got it on video, I'll show you what happens. It just totally freezes, and it just don't want to do nothing. I mean the frame rate just literally went straight from, when I had the frame rate counter on, it went from like 50 straight down to 5 and not do nothing as such. And it's just permanently done that. Now I can reload the game, click on the roller coaster, and it just does the same thing. It just says no, you're not doing it. But in the meantime, well, we're just hoping that it will be fixed in a very short time. Also want to cover, well, quite a few of them actually, Osblix, if I'm pronouncing it right. Yeah, some pointy towers around the map. Put some decorations on them. Now, I don't know at this time if to mix up the theme. I don't know, shall we have like add a western theme to it and a science fi and generic? or just stay with this theme altogether. I ain't made my mind up on that yet. I quite like this, since we can make all our own buildings. Now I know obviously it affects the peeps coming into the game. Some don't like adventure. Now I know the building itself won't make no difference to, well, I don't think it does, to what the peep wants. Yeah, so if it don't affect the peep, you can make these buildings. Still put the western theme rides in, as such. Just blend them into this adventure brickwork. Same with the sci-fi stuff. Yeah, so you can let me know if you want me to mix it up with some sci-fi buildings, as such. One thing about the sci-fi buildings is I like on here, I'll just build a square building, add loads of attachments to it. As such, when I do the old sci-fi, I actually make several buildings and actually blend them all into one. I think it gives it a lot better look. Sort of feature people were doing in Planet Coaster. So it's actually, believe it or not, it's actually a lot easier to do it in this game than what in Planet Coaster. Making two buildings, like adding a corner at a different angle, which you can turn a whole lot and attach them together. In Planet Coaster, it doesn't allow you to attach them together as one. Unless they've changed it in the update, I don't know. And so just try to get as much detail on the tower as possible. I bet this looks like a square, boring looking thing. I do like these pieces. They've got great detail on them. They stand out fantastically. A bit like they will make plenty more. Just looking at it shiny. I'm looking at the video. I'm actually deleting the back piece and still deleting the front piece. Which all I needed to do is actually remove the back piece. And get too carried away pressing the delete button. That's life. Good thing about making videos. You see what cock-ups you make at the same time. You think, oh, should I delete that out? I don't look like, maybe look like an idiot. Or leave it in. I thought, oh, well, we'll leave it in. These things happen. It's like when I did obviously the path system. I didn't realise you had a grid. A grid came up when you were editing the building for the path. Never noticed until someone told me. Funny thing is, when I was watching the video of the devs do it, the devs never used the grid either. And I thought, wow, at least it ain't just me. The development team can't do it on their own video as well. It don't make me look that bad, does it? Just trying to see why that's not lined up on the corner. Just notice that the actual wall on the right hand side is actually sticking out too far. Do that quite a lot. When you're building stuff, bash, 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 and actually put it in the wrong spot. Now I have noticed, I have to check the preferences. The higher you build stuff, the camera gets in the wrong position. It's like I need to have the camera lower and look up, and not look down as such, or just at the wrong angle and need to change it. That was a bit of freeze. Sends me over to oblivion somewhere. So now I want to go put this one on. It's actually on the corner. It's not one-sided. It's just the wall's in the wrong spot. I'll change it in a second. These things happen. I'm not quite sure how high I'm going to build it at the end of the day. Might go up another 2 or 3 levels yet. Now see this what happens when you zoom down. As you build up, you can't zoom to the bit you want. So I'll check my preferences on the camera settings. looking at the building, what I might do, I might add on the corners, add a 45 degrees walk piece coming off it. But you have to do that as a separate building to get the angle. I'll start to make it look square, as such. Okay, this is where the game starts going nuts, and it's permanently gone nuts. Up to this point, I mean, I've checked the roller coaster loads of times when I was making the other building with the roller coaster in. It only went wrong when I decided to put the track through the building. And it's like, you can't do that. And he's decided, as I said before, it don't want to work no more. As such, excuse me. It's just trying to get the right height, because the plan was actually it comes down, goes through the building, and as a loop. The other side, put that in it nicely. Then they go back up and go for another tower, and so on. Unfortunately, I don't have my frame counter on, but you see what happens. Literally, as soon as I do that, it goes slower and slower and slower, and it just dies. So while we're on this bit, I'll say latest to you all, and I'll see you in the next part of maybe a new